Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the moon conjunct Uranus in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart, and they're a little bit concise, and some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have the moon conjunct Uranus in a natal chart, there may be an intense need, which is the moon, to attain goals and aspirations, which is Uranus. If you have Uranus in Aquarius as an example, those goals and aspirations may be connected with astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, meteorology, aviation, innovation, humanitarian, altruistic endeavors as some examples. If the Uranus is in Capricorn, as another example, those goals and aspirations may be associated with business, political, government work, accounting, dentistry, masonry, construction, information technology, carpentry, architecture as some examples. And also, too, there may be much inspiration, which is Uranus, for attaining the emotional needs, which is the moon. If the moon is in Gemini, as an example, those emotional needs, may be manifold and varied. They may be tied in with communication, assimilating and disseminating information, things associated with manual dexterity, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics, as some examples. Now, another thing too is if you have the moon conjunct Uranus in your natal chart, the feelings and emotions, which is the moon, may be more detached, which is Uranus, than otherwise indicated. So even if you have, your moon, say, in a sensitive sign like the zodiac sign Cancer or Pisces, this connection, the moon and Uranus, can indicate that your feelings and emotions may be a little bit more detached than even the typical moon in Cancer or Pisces. Those two moon placements can be very sensitive. And but if you have the conjunction with Uranus, it could modify that to some degree. Now, if you have moon in Scorpio, even though the emotions are controlled, can still be, the emotions can also be very powerful, intense, and turbulent. But if you have the conjunction to Uranus, again, that could be, it could modify that at some level. Now, another thing is that you may be very emotional, which is the moon, regarding your future, which is Uranus. If Uranus is in Sagittarius, as an example, that future may be tied in, to publishing, advertising, adventure, exploration, foreign travel, printing press operations, sports, or the outdoors, something connected with the outdoors as some examples. It could be college teaching. Um, and the thing about, if you have the moon conjunct Uranus in a natal chart, another way it could manifest is that the mother, which is the moon, and your objectives, which is Uranus, can be strongly connected. And the mother could be very influential in these matters and figure very prominently with this conjunction aspect. If Uranus is in Pisces, as an example, those objectives, may be connected, with fishing or boating, spirituality, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, poetry, dancing, photography, doing something with illusion, such as working as a magician, or doing something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology. Now, another thing too is that there may be, if you have the moon conjunct Uranus in your natal chart, there may be an intense, desire to nurture and care, which is the moon, for your friends, which is Uranus. Going back to Uranus and Capricorn as an example. There may be friends with people that actually have a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be older people, or it could be people that are very structured, disciplined, consistent, mature, serious, those that are responsible, ambitious, and career-oriented, as an example. Now, also, too, there may be a strong, desire for, innovation, which is Uranus, in the home, which is the moon. And, it could be, if the Uranus is in Aquarius, as an example, it could be, a lot of, expression of ingenuity and innovation with computers or electronics. It could be the person that goes, online and expresses a lot of their, ingenuity, their ingenious ideas, and, in that manner. And if you have, the thing about the moon conjunct Uranus in a natal chart, you also, it could be where you're very extremely sensitive, which is the moon, in matters pertaining, to freedom, which is Uranus. Now, let's say if Uranus is in Scorpio, as an example, there may be more of a desire and freedom, when it comes to, dealing with crisis or making a major change or transformation. It could be of a sexual nature in some cases. Uranus and Scorpio, though it's generational, some instances may have an unorthodox, view on, on sexuality, and there may be more freedom and independence that is connected with that placement in those matters. Now, another thing too is that if you have this aspect in your natal chart, another way it may manifest is that the unconscious side, which is the moon, may be altruistic, unorthodox, ingenious, and unconventional, which is Uranus. So, even if, the moon was in, a sign which is, very, which is a little bit more regular and traditional, such as Capricorn or Taurus, the unconscious side may be a little bit more unorthodox, more ingenious, unconventional, if you have the conjunction to Uranus. Now, another thing too is that the person, may have, it could also be about, if you have this aspect, as far as protrusions, gross twitches, which is Uranus, the person may have these, and it could be in the chest, the breast, the stomach, the ribs, even the left or right eye, depending on gender, which is the moon. And the thing about this aspect too is that, keep in mind the moon is connected with our, reactions and responses. So the responses, which is the moon, may be more erratic and unpredictable, which is Uranus, than otherwise, indicated in the natal chart. If the conjunction is in Gemini, they might be flavored, with being more excitable as well, and high strung. And the thing about this this aspect too is that, people may and the people that have this aspect in their natal chart may emphasize, doing something Uranus related with the public, which is the moon. And if, let's say, if you have if you have the conjunction in Sagittarius, there may be more exuberance, optimism, enthusiasm, connected with this as well, and they're more, maybe more of an energy toward thriving on being outdoors as well in the process. And the thing is, if you have this aspect as well, another thing about this is that if you have it could be about people, that that are prominent in groups, clubs, organizations, which is Uranus, may be very caring, nurturing, protective, tenacious, and really and emotional and sensitive, which is the moon. If you have the conjunction going to Sagittarius as an example, again, many of those people may be, very, optimistic, jocular, and upbeat, and may also, and maybe some of them may be foreigners as well. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.